of pecuniary interest? No. I have a disclosure of pecuniary interest, which I've submitted to the CAO already. It's for 7C, revised municipal accommodation tax policy. All right, our first order of business is minutes, approval of previous council minutes of September 10th, 2024. This is resolution number 209-2024, and we do not have movers and seconders for any of these. So we'll have to pass these here. Mover, is there any discussion on these minutes or any questions or anything? Okay. Thank you. Okay, so this is resolution 209-2024, moved by Councillor Westhaver, seconded by Councillor Cartwright, that the council meeting minutes of September 10th, 2024 are hereby adopted as recorded by the CAO clerk. All in favor? Opposed and carried. All right, next we have finance, confirm and approval of accounts. We need a mover and a seconder. I'm going to move the. Who wants to second this one? Greg. Thank you. That's okay. I got kind of long arms. So resolution number 210-2024, moved by Councillor Hart, seconded by Councillor Harper, that the payment of accounts is listed on the following payment voucher being the same as hereby confirmed and approved. Payment voucher number 27-2024 in the amount of $39,445.01, and payment voucher number 28-2024 in the amount of $151,026.77. All in favor? Opposed and carried. Okay, we have delegations. Our first delegation, we have two delegations tonight. The first one is Jennifer Henriksen, and she has a proposal here to create a beautification committee. So Jennifer, we are ready for you if you would like to go ahead.
Thank you. Can I remain seated?
You can, yes.
Okay, great. First, I would like to thank everybody for the opportunity to be the gardener this year for the Township of Nippy, and I really enjoyed the experience. And this is my hometown. I really care about the hometown. So in working with the volunteers in the community to get the job done, because it's not a one-person job when it begins and there's new developments, like when you're first starting your plantings, and it takes a team of people. It doesn't take one person. So we rely heavily on volunteers. And thankfully we have a community that will step in to volunteer to make our town look as beautiful as it did this summer. And so this is the reason for me presenting this idea of creating this beautification committee is so it's a little bit more structured. So we're not just, coming up with ideas and then running into the town office with them and, maybe they get approved, maybe they don't get approved. So it's a little bit more formal as to how we could, present it and maybe get budgeting and maybe more planning. And there's more time given, so it's not so off the cuff, so to speak. And like Christmas is coming up, we have ideas for that, and we're going to go into planting some daffodils, and then by creating the committee, I'm hoping that we can create a better relationships with other organizations in the beginning, like the Horticultural Society as well, and work with that organization to bring a bigger team together, because there's that group of people as well that we could work with and bring everybody together to, create a team to be able to maintain and brainstorm and come up with some great ideas for the community to look its best. And then just to keep it maintained. So it would be, I have it structured, like I presented a structure for it. I emailed the structure, like this is really loose. Like I pulled this off the internet of somebody else's beautification committee. And so it's a big, it's a very loose idea. I mean, it can be completely rewritten to how it could work for the township of Nippigan. I thought it was pretty good as written, is that you would have the like the town council would elect the committee members, right? So like I volunteer and I read here, it's behind me. She volunteers and we can bring our names forward, and we could bring, so you're almost applying for a job, but even though it's volunteer work. I mean, so that would, so the council creates the committee. Like we're not creating, like Irene and I don't create it ourselves, but we can bring people forward. But then we would have like, our group of volunteers that we could count on and stuff like that. So we could bring our ideas to one council member, and then the council member can bring it to council, to everybody, and then everybody can vote on it to say, yes, we can, put this in our budget. We think this is a good idea. And then we could get approval for these, and then we can go ahead and plan how we execute that. And then we have more time to do that. So basically, it's really a simple setup. I'm thinking, like, to start, we only have 2 committee members, like right now, that are coming forward with their names, which was me and Irene. But I mean, ultimately, we would like to have 5, and then we'd have like 1 point person on council that we would communicate with. All the, like, it's sort of an open door policy. They can communicate with us, we can communicate with them, and then they can say yes or no to us. And, it's just an easy way of keeping communication open and transparent, and everybody kind of knows what's going on, and then we can go ahead and get and then we have to meet like every month. Like our committee would meet to just, talk about, and it would be run formally, like your meetings here run formally. We keep minutes of our meetings, and, and, the agendas and stuff that we have. So we could present that to our council. So what we're doing, and, what we'd like to see, but ultimately it's the township's approval. It's, it's not up to anybody but council, which is what it should be as a whole. And so we would meet monthly, and to be able to, brainstorm and come up with ideas. We have some already for Christmas and stuff. And, they're great ideas, and I'd like to see them implemented. And like I said, we're already running around doing daffodils. So we're already doing beautification, but we just don't have a formal umbrella to do it. Yeah. So it's some of it gets done, some of it doesn't get done. We're not like, Irene's amazing. Like nothing would get done without Irene. I'm sorry, but I have to tell her how great she is at getting these things done all by herself. Yeah, because nothing would get done without Irene. Like planting the daffodils this Saturday. So, like I said, the outline that I had for the committee is pretty simple, and I think it would benefit the township in a great way and in a positive way. And we're, the community members and the volunteers can work more, I would say professionally with the township. So they feel that their voices are being heard. So, you know, we're bringing the community, and then once the community comes in, it feels like the voices are heard and people care, and then people start taking ownership of their community. And we saw that out there this summer. We saw people deadheading flowers, and you know, people say, "Who is that?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but I love every minute of it." You know, people just getting involved, and I love that. And I would like to see more of that, and I think we can see more of that as we create this committee. Would be more of a branch for the community being involved with the township. So you'd be sort of the middle guy, because our township doesn't really sit in these meetings, except she's a good one for us. But
you're welcome anytime.
I know it's always open door policy, but it's, you know, tonight's almost a full house. So it's so it'd be a nice way for the community to be more involved with the township as well. And
I
the
think
council
it's an excellent
members.
idea. And thank you for doing that. You did a great job this summer, and now you're even doing more, so that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, and this is all volunteer. Nobody gets paid for
Exactly,
this.
yes.
Yeah, I make sure that people know that too. With the gardener position was paid, but then everything else is volunteer, and of course this would be volunteer.
Yes.
Well. Are you done your presentation?
I am.
You are? Okay, thank you.
And if anybody needs another copy of how I had it set out, because
we have it in our packages.
Oh, you have it in your
yeah, it's all
package,
electronic in our package.
because I was going to read it out and then I kind of
Nice.
sidetracked.
Yeah,
No, we're
sends
good.
He sends us everything.
We read our packages.
Yeah, we do.
Right? So we have this. So does anyone have any questions for Jennifer about this committee?
Sure.
No. Good. Yeah. So I just wanted to say, like, I echo Greg's opinion too, and I don't think I've gotten more positive reaction from anything over the past couple of years than those flowers that happened this summer. And we were blessed with wonderful weather, but we were also blessed with some wonderful planning and planting and care. So thank you both for that, and the volunteers that worked with you as well. And I also want to say that it's very refreshing to have a group come to us with something positive to add to the town to make things better, and like something positive that they want to add and do. So thank you for that as well. It's you know, it can be a little dreary here with you know, complaints or you know, bringing nuclear waste through town and all this kind of thing, and it's a happy positive thing that you guys are doing, so thank you for that. There is in the resolution council appointing, we do approve this. There is a council room for council member on the committee. Now, would that council member be expected to attend the meetings, or is that just kind of the conduit, or as you require them to attend the meetings, just because it might affect who would volunteer to be on the committee?
Right.
If they can just attend as they wish, or yeah, pretty casual. Yeah,
because we, like I said, it would be a formal meeting every month. So I'm whether I'm lucky or not, but I know how to take minutes and structure meetings.
Yeah, which we would receive for council through our packages, like we do with everything else, so we know what's going on. Okay.
Yeah, so there would be no need actually for the council member to be there, but the phone, like our phone numbers would be there for somebody to call.
Or if they would want to go.
I would go to there.
Are you interested? Is there anyone else?
I'm on the adjustment committee and the museum. So the adjustment committee is not a busy one, right?
Right.
So I would come to your meetings and bring things forward here.
Okay, so Gail is interested in being the council representative. Is anyone else interested?
I'd be interested.
Sure. Okay. So we need one council member, but I mean, there's also room for volunteers on the committee as well.
Yeah.
So we could do like a council member and then an alternate council member or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's a good idea.
So maybe we'll do,
You can all come.
no, you know what
You
you
know,
two.
We're never
Everyone
gonna,
can come.
we're never gonna have the doors closed to anybody.
There you go.
This is all about volunteers,
Oh, I'm gonna
so.
get some dirt under those fingers.
Yeah.
So the pressure would be to enter Cities in Bloom
Mhm.
and
We can certainly talk about that one.
So long
Okay.
as we have the budget.
That's the big one. It's always, there's a budget for everything. We can come up with the most glamorous ideas, but there's always gonna be a budget.
So who wants to be the representative and who wants to be the alternate?
I'll be rep.
You'll be the rep, okay. Is that okay with you, Glenn?
Yep.
You good? And you can attend like as you wish to, right?
Yeah, you can come too.
You can come along. And Glenn, Bart. alternate. Just officially on paper, that's the way it will be, but anyone can go. Okay, can we have a mover and a seconder for this? Gail, do you have a question?
No, I was just gonna say my aunt was, Irene knows my aunt Gert Catley, she was running flowers.
Oh, I knew Mrs. Catley very well.
Yeah, it's my aunt. And anyways, my mom too, she was in the garden and it's gotten down to here too, so. But at home, I don't, have never been involved in a public. I know Red Rock has a beautification committee and it does a very nice job.
They
there, too.
complimented us this year.
Oh, that's good. That's nice.
Yeah, we're in competition now.
Oh, yeah, well, that's healthy competition, right? Okay, resolution number 211-2024, moved by Councillor Harper, seconded by Councillor Cartwright. Whereas Jennifer Henriksen has made a delegation to council with a request to establish a beautification committee within the township of Nipigon and has provided a draft terms of reference for the committee. Be it resolved that this council authorizes the establishment of a beautification committee within the township of Nipigon, which shall be required to establish a formal term of reference and procedures that will be approved by council, and appoints Gail Westhaver and alternate Glenn Hart as the council representatives. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Thank you.
There
I'm
you
very
go.
excited,
There you go.
but now I have to put in my
Nope.
resume for a position on council. So do you.
Position on council.
So you guys are welcome to stay and listen to the rest of the meeting, or you are welcome to take your leave, and we will not hold anything against you if you decide to not stay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
for
very
your
much.
time
Thank
today.
you. We appreciate it.
By the way, it's Saturday, if you want to join
Now
us.
she can go.
Oh, Saturday is daffodil planting
Yeah.
downtown. What
Yeah.
time?
9 a.m.
I
9
really gotta
a.m.
get a knee replacement done, so. I
Okay.
have to get that.
Okay, so we have another delegation. We have Captain Benjamin Jewis of the Royal Canadian Sea Cadet Corps. And we also have some 3 Sea Cadets with us as well. Welcome.
Thank you.
You can go ahead anytime, and I see you have a presentation here. Do you want to go through that?
Thank you, yes. Perfect. So yes, as said, I am Captain Ben Jewis, and I'm the commanding officer of Nipigon's own 217 Royal Canadian Sea Cadet Corps. And with me, I have some members of my ship's company, Master Cadets Williamson, Warder, and Longinen. We are very happy to take the opportunity to address the council this evening with hopes of spreading awareness about our organization and its contributions to the township of Nipigon, as well as to ask for the council's continued support. Beauty. If you're not familiar with the Sea Cadet program, the Royal Canadian Sea Cadets is a national program that's run in collaboration between the Federal Department of National Defence and the Civilian Navy League of Canada. It is a community program for youth between the ages of 12 and 18 that builds self-confidence, leadership, excuse me, physical activity, and fitness. And in the case of Sea Cadets specifically, offers experiences meant to broaden the appreciation and deepen the understanding of the activities of the Royal Canadian Navy. Because the program is fully funded through the Department of National Defence, there's absolutely no cost to any individual cadet to join, which makes the program very egalitarian and open to all. The commitment on the part of the nominal commitment on the part of both staff and cadets is approximately 1 evening per week and 1 weekend per month. But as the case with any sort of service or volunteer organization, often it ends up spilling into more. I could certainly go on ad nauseum and discuss all of the amazing things that Sea Cadets do, from sailing and seamanship and power boating to other activities such as band, drill, marksmanship, orienteering, community service, instruction, and many other important soft skills that help to develop the leaders of the future leaders of our community. But since I have some members of my ship's company here, I'd like to give them the opportunity to share with you some of what they take away from the cadet program, why they joined, why they've stuck around, and why this is such an important program in our community.
Lots of socializing and fun things to do in cadets. It gives me something to do on Wednesday nights and often weekends. It gives me opportunities to learn about sailing and other seamanship traditions. I like to learn about history as well. That's usually a part of our cadet programs. I learn about history of the Canadian Navy and stuff, and I find that all very interesting. So that's why I stick with it. That's why I'm in it.
There's lots of opportunities. This summer I went to CTC Blackdown in Borden, Ontario for a introduction to drill and ceremonial course. There weren't many opportunities, but I was lucky enough to get to go. And that is a picture of me and my friends after graduation parade.
And it looks really good on my resume.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I like how you think.
Sadly, the Corps just about disappeared during the COVID-19 pandemic, but over the last few years, I and my staff and of course the cadets have been working to build it up. We're now standing at about 15 cadets, quite respectful when you consider the size of the community. Although it is worth pointing out that some of those cadets come in from Red Rock or from Lake Helen as well. Excuse me. And I'm pleased to say that there are some additional people who have expressed some interest in coming on as additional staff, both civilian and uniform. What the cadet program needs to succeed is, first and foremost, of course, cadets and staff, and importantly, community support. Even though our ship's company is made up of both officers and cadets from the far as field as Dorian, yours truly, will have, as well as I said, Red Rock, Lake Helen, as well as Nipigon proper. Nipigon is really our home port, so to speak. And so one of our purposes for coming before you today is to ask you to keep us in mind, to consider us when there is a metaphorical heavy lifting to be done. We're always looking for ways to give back to our community, especially if there are needs that align with the aims and with goals of the cadet program that we can then turn around and use to support the community of Nipigon. We'd also like to ask for an expression of support on your part, especially coming up the first week of October. By act of provincial parliament, the first week of October, I should say the week beginning the first Saturday of October, is Ontario Cadets Week. We're recognized throughout the province of Ontario. And we wonder if perhaps the council would consider an expression of support for our cadet corps specifically, as well as for cadets in general. Incidentally, we do also have a flag. I'm not sure if there may be an opportunity to display it, but such a gesture could do well to continue to improve our community visibility. Excuse me, community visibility.
Did you have a flag, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And that concludes your presentation?
Yes,
Okay.
barring any questions.
Anybody have any questions?
I do.
Yeah.
What type of work did you say that to contribute to the town? Are these people allowed to do? What types have they done in other places?
We're certainly open to suggestions. Obviously, as a youth organization, there are limits to what we can do. And as a program that's funded by in part by the Canadian Armed Forces, everything that we have to do, of course, has to bring credits to the armed forces. So I mean, we can't do things like handle alcohol, for example. But certainly there are many things in the community that we, which is to say Royal, we have all cadets across the province and across the country have done. There is an Air Cadet Squadron, for example, in New Liskeard that the town of New Liskeard decided that they wanted a band, and so there are opportunities for music training within the cadet program, and so the cadet unit built itself around the idea of a community band, which has then gone on to represent the community. I am not particularly musically inclined, so I can make no promises. But certainly there are avenues for that. Similarly, an Army Cadet Corps in Haileybury identified that what they needed more than anything else was lifeguards for the pool, and so they're building a training program around ensuring that their cadets are certified lifeguards. Obviously, as a nautical environment, we're always looking for things that align with that. This past year, we did some training with Parks Canada and their marine archaeology program, and we're really leaning into the idea of remotely operated underwater drones, and I mean those are just some of the ideas. Again, there's much that we can do, and we're certainly looking for ideas and for opportunities to give back to our communities.
You and the cadets, I know they help with serving usually at the senior supper, right?
We certainly do. Yes.
Yeah.
We have. I mean, there are long traditions of this cadet corps in particular serving with the Elks at dinner, with the Legion, and with other organizations as well. As I said, those are long-standing traditions, which we certainly want to continue, even as we look for additional opportunities to give back.
Historically, they've also done the highway cleanup.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Completely nobody even know they were doing it.
With seniors in mind, would they call out your troop after a heavy snowstorm to help shovel out seniors' residences or things like that?
Potentially, yes.
You want to have a list of people who need help after a big storm and just round up the troops.
And give them a call, see if they need anything.
Yeah. You've got a really nice little army going
Yeah.
compared to what it has been
Yeah.
historically.
Yeah, congratulations. That's
Yeah.
15 people is
I'm
pretty
very
good.
impressed with what's done since you've come on board.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You have
And
an underwater drone?
Parks Canada does.
Parks, okay.
Yeah.
Parks Canada, yes, we had a training exercise with them, exploring in the spring, exploring the lagoon with the drone. But through our local branch of the Navy, we're looking at purchasing our own so that we can continue our own underwater exploration.
Nice.
With music in mind, that might be a really good selling point to a recruiting point if you could organize a music program, because we don't have one even at our local high school in Red Rock. There's no music program, and there is one in Dorian. I know at your public school. That's I think the only one in the area that yes.
There is music class in high school.
There is now?
Just out of the
As of this year?
music club on Wednesdays at lunch, as of the end of last year. And there's a music class being offered to grade 10s this year, and I think it's an 11-12 split the second semester.
Oh,
It's gonna start being offered
that's
every
good to
year.
know.
It just started this year.
Great.
At the same time, this year, we are going to be building closer relationships with some of our neighboring corps. Endurance Sea Cadet Corps from Terrace Bay and Vindictive in Thunder Bay. Vindictive in particular has an award-winning band. And so if there's an interest on the part of cadets and on the part of the community to pursue that musical training, and certainly there are avenues. It will be an uphill battle. I won't lie. But there are those avenues, and certainly we're up for the challenge.
Very good.
So are we okay to direct staff to see if we can raise the flag for that week? Get the dates from Mr. Jewis there, and then declare that week or the support of that. We can't do it because with a council meeting, because we have it's before our next council meeting, but maybe in the paper on our website or something like that.
Yep.
Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just like submit stuff to the paper, of course. Kirsten might not ask.
See, I never.
I'll put anything in you guys.
Submit stuff to the paper.
You don't get delegations very often. Could I take a picture of you and those three?
Yeah.
Yeah, before you guys head out, because even though I know you really want to stay, you might have to go home to go to sleep for school, right?
Homework.
School, education.
You want me to be in there too?
Yeah, sure you can. Definitely.
I feel like I should put one on my hat. Uniformity.
I think I'm gonna stand beside the girls because I'm gonna look like, that's so true, a very small person. No, right? No.
Oh, no. Then we're changing.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Good job.
Thank you very much. All right.
Oh, I love positivity.
Did make a funny face with it.
I tried not to.
And there's like.
Bye-bye, thank you.
Bye,
Free
thank you.
groceries and everything,
Okay, we will move on to our next, which is recreation, meeting of September 10th, and we must have a resolution for that. Okay. Does anyone have any questions or comments for this, for the minutes? So it looks like there's some recommendations as well. Does anyone have any? I'm just seeing here what
I have something to say about Rick, now that we know that these cadets they might want to get paid to go get their certification to be lifeguards.
yeah, that's definitely something that can be brought to the
Maybe
A
recreation
lot of
committee.
things with the cadets is paid for by the government as well.
Next year.
Okay, so we'll just go, there are 8 recommendations. To suggest, the first one is, I'll just read it so that people can hear what they are. I'm not going to read them word for word. The first one is to recommend that Fryway once again run the canteen for part-time for the 2024-2025 season. Part-time meaning it's during events like practices, tournaments, things like that, games, as opposed to full-time. Sorry, there's a fly here. The second one is to renew Kyle Cote's contract if funding is available from October 1st to 2024 to 2025. That's something that staff is working on, to have the band reinstitute their funding for him. So I'm in support of that, as long as the band is interested in refunding his position. The next one is the user fee bylaw increasing for the bylaw for increasing the fitness room membership costs. And then user fees for the curling club. Recommending of a wage increase for summer students to $18 per hour with the $1 year increase to maximum of 4 years, with the exception of the pool staff because they're on their own kind of schedule. We do have some kayak and canoe rentals that will be available for 2025. 1 kayak and 2 canoes, yeah, okay.
Yeah. One canoe.
1 canoe, 2 kayaks, okay. So there's rental fees attached. And Simran has, this fly is killing me.
I know.
It's right on me. And then this is a recommendation for Simran to join the Recreation Committee. So is that Simran joining as a like a person, like as a, not as an employee, right? She just wants to join as a volunteer. Okay. Okay, so we'll need movers and seconders for the minutes with the recommendation. Just as we move through, I know that the meeting was supposed to be on the 9th and it was rescheduled for the 10th, which was a night of council meeting for us. So we were unable to attend. Like, we didn't have a chance to attend. So because, you know, a council member is part of that committee, I think future, but Glenn and I are actually on that committee as council members. So yeah, since it was
whatever, yeah,
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're there or not. It's just to approve the minutes.
Yeah.
So in future, if a meeting does have to be rescheduled, if it cannot be rescheduled for the night of a council meeting, then that would be great, because I think both Glenn and I would have liked to have attended that meeting, and we couldn't because we were at a council meeting. So, I just, there's something in here about the baseball that there were some ideas thrown around. It would be nice to know like what those ideas were. Just I'm curious. And then the swimming pool hiring of the lifeguards and everything that happened for this summer. I would like to see a report from staff for a strategy for next year. I'd like to see it for maybe not the next council meeting, but within a month. I would like to see a strategy for hiring for next year, because that has to start now.
Don't wait.
Yeah. Or soon.
By January.
Yeah, because the courses are spread out, you know, like they take time to, and we just have, like, this is just a mention here of what happened last summer with, we hired 5 lifeguards, 5 cashiers with the partnership and all that kind of thing. But I would like to see a report from the recreation manager, what it will be done, what's the strategy for next year. Just so we know what the plan is.
What do you know? Do we know when the training starts at Lakehead Pool?
Well, there's the complex runs it, and probably the university as well.
Yeah.
They're every couple of months. You just have to, they have to sort of look it up. Like perhaps this is just a suggestion, but the recreation manager could look up what the schedule is for those and publish them, or hand them out to people that have shown interest, email them to kids that have shown interest or whatever. Just because it takes time for them to get through all that stuff, because it's time consuming. It's a whole weekend, right? And then they're only offered at certain times.
And if they're going to school.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Or this cadet program too could be. No, that's great.
Yeah, if you can mention
with Mr. Juice. Yeah. He's also with the school as well, so you might have contacts there for just regular students. So.
Mayor, can I comment on that too?
Yes.
We have had a few conversations, because our plan is to try and at least retain who we have had this year, so we don't have to worry about next year, but we still do need more staff. So we are going to see who we have, and then kind of, but we do want to have contingencies. And I think she was planning on being here tonight, but she wasn't able to make it to discuss some of her stuff. So I think even having a reporter discussion for next meeting is feasible.
Okay.
At least on most of the stuff that you have questions on.
Okay.
To give you an update.
Okay. And then there is the mention of the dog park here, which I think we just defer to the next week. We do have a delegation on October 8th about that, and then we'll have more information, so we can just defer discussion to then. And then there is a mention here, there's no recommendation in it, but the skate park, although the portable equipment is more cost effective, it doesn't allow for usage during times when they're, for instance, right now, they're putting the ice in. As soon as the ice starts going in after Labor Day, there would be no, and during all Labor Day and before it just cuts down the amount of usage that it could be. But I do like the idea of having a survey for the youth. I don't know how you reach them. I don't know if you actually go to the high school and actually talk to them and have some pizzas there and say, okay, if you want 2 pieces of pizza, you're filling out this survey, right?
If you want to get them, talk to Mr. Chewis.
Yeah.
Like I tell you that right now.
Yeah, or the teachers or the counselors or whatever at the school. And then not just the high school, but the tweens or the younger kids, right? Because they're going to be coming up to that age. But I do like finding out what they're interested in, what they would like to participate in, what they would like, because we can only guess. Some of us have teenagers, some of us don't. And I have a teenager and I still guess what she wants to do. But anyways, lots of good discussion there. So, okay, resolution number 212, 2024, moved by Councillor Westhaver, seconded by Councillor Harper. Be it resolved that the council hereby accepts the September 10th recreation minutes as presented with recommendations provided, and that council approves and directs the recreation culture manager to act on the following recommendations, numbered 1 to 8. All in favor?
I have one question.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Recommendation number 6.
Yeah.
So if we raise the minimum wage of the student to $18 an hour, right, for this year, and then plus $1 per hour for each $1 an hour for each year after that. So in 4 years, does that mean, like, we probably won't have the same students working in 4 years because they most likely won't be students anymore.
Yeah.
So then the new students coming in 4 years will be starting at $22 an hour?
No. It's every year that they continue to work for the town, so it's to attract them to come back. So it's less training and everything. They just, so we can have the same staff. That's what I'm understanding
for current students then.
Yeah, if you come back a second year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
They're starting off above minimum wage already, then adding.
But in 4 years, they will be starting at that.
That's
22. Right. That'll be the ones that if they stay for 4 years, they'll be at 22.
Yeah, go back to 18 or whatever it is.
Yeah. New kids.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, and that council approves and directs the recreation and culture manager to act on the following recommendations, numbered 1 to 8. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Oops. Okay. This is about the recreation proposed fee change effective October 2024. This is resolution 213-2024. Do we have a mover and a seconder for this one? All right, 213-2024, moved by Councillor Hart, seconded by Councillor Cartwright. Be it resolved that council hereby accepts the revised fees as presented by the Recreation and Culture Committee, and that staff are directed to add these amendments into revised fees and charges by law for council to consider at their October 8th regular meeting. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay. Next, we have a report on the Thunder Bay Community Foundations grant. This is a staff report. Do we have any questions for Lars or any points of discussion on that? And we will need a mover and a seconder.
Yeah.
Okay. So just while those, the mover and the seconder are signing the resolution, we've got a council report on the Thunder Bay Community Foundation grant and an application to for up to $20,000 to do some capital work on our ball diamonds, our ball fields. So they could use some tender loving care, I would say. So this is 214-2024, moved by Councillor Westhaver, second by Councillor Harper. Be it resolved that council accepts staff report 2409-2401 as presented and authorized and authorizes staff to submit an application for up to $20,000 in funding for the Thunder Bay Community Foundation grant to complete renovations to the township's 2 baseball fields, with all outstanding costs being covered by the township in pending funding approval. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Good luck with that, staff.
Yeah.
Raw staff. Let's do it. Okay. New Horizon grant. This is the another resolution, another staff report here on the New Horizons seniors grant. So this is just in support of the We Heart Art program and continuing that with some additions to grow it with some digital literacy items added in. Okay, any discussion, any questions for staff? Okay, we need a mover and a seconder. Here we go. Sorry, Gail.
No, I did it.
You did the last one.
Sit here like.
You did the last one.
No.
So we can't. Thank you. Okay, so this is resolution 215-2024, moved by Councillor Cartwright, seconded by Councillor Harper. Be it resolved that council receives for information staff report 2409-2402, discussing the submission of the New Horizon for Seniors grant to provide additional programming and hands-on workshop for local seniors at the Edge Art Studio. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Good luck as well. So we have Public Works minutes of September 17th next. So do we have a mover? Was everyone? I don't think it matters if you were there or not.
Everyone was there.
Except for me. I was not there.
I wasn't gonna say that.
I had to work. Yeah, you weren't gonna tattle on me. Anyone else? Yeah, no? We can do that one. Are there any discussion points, anything anyone wants to bring up from those minutes? It was basically a Taylor's first meeting.
Did really well.
Good. Just some updates on a few things. Splash pad shut down, turtle dock damage, which is disturbing. Yeah.
Did they find those culprits?
I don't think so.
I'm sure them and their parents both know, or all know.
It's possible, yeah. Okay, resolution 216-2024, moved by Councillor Hart, right? That's you. Yeah, okay. However, you forgot who I gave it to. Seconded by Councillor Westhaver. Be it resolved that the council hereby accepts the September 17th Public Works Committee meeting minutes as presented with recommendation provided, and that council approves and directs the Public Works Superintendent to act on the following recommendations numbered as 7A and 7B in their committee minutes, and I'm just going to read those out. Recommendations are PWC recommends to council that council approves 2024-09-10 landfill winter hours and fall cleanup. Tipping fees at the landfill be waived for brush and yard waste effective October 7th, 2024 until end of business day on Saturday, November 23rd. Winter hours at the landfill will change on Mondays and Fridays from 2 to 7 to 12 to 5 during standard time, first Sunday in November until the second Sunday in March. Communication will be provided through notices and tax bills and ad in the Nippon Gazette. And then B, PWC recommends to council that the splash pad waterfall shutdown and marina water shut off occur later in the season than in 2023 due to warmer temperatures. However, the shutdowns will be weather permitting and at the discretion of the Public Works foreman. Both the splash pad waterfall and marina water will be shut down in the last week of September or first 2 weeks of October. Okay, all in favor? Opposed? And carried. Okay, next we have some council business here. Bylaw to regulate and control noise. We need a mover and a seconder. Does anyone have any questions about the bylaw? We're moving this around. Oops, sorry.
Did you wrote that up? That's very good one.
Yeah, thanks. And that was approved by pre-approved by the province.
Yeah. Okay, that was at last meeting too?
That was at I think it was the August meeting and we had that discussion.
Yeah.
So it'll still need to go back to get approved by a judge. So maybe a few months before it gets approved as far as fines go.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
Yep.
Thank you. Resolution 217-2024, moved by Councillor Hart, seconded by Councillor Cartwright. Be it resolved that leave be given to introduce a bylaw to prohibit and regulate the making of unusual noise or noises likely to disturb the inhabitants of the township of Nipigon. That the bylaw be read a first and second time, that the said bylaw be read a third time, and finally passed and numbered bylaw number 1944 of the township of Nipigon. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Okay, proposed administration fee changes. Okay, so this is a council report as well, or staff report to council, I mean. So this is just a change in a number of fees, such as auto extraction rates, pumper truck. This is the kind of thing that gets invoiced to the province. Yeah, okay.
But if anything ever happened from a staff perspective, we had to bill a resident, we would use the same fee.
Yeah. Anything you want to say about that, Lars?
No, just in some of the items just are becoming more, I guess, similar competitive with other municipalities. So the three that are really getting adjusted are the tax certificates, the zoning compliance level letter, which is usually requested when we have a transfer of ownership. And then there's the minor variance and consent. So that's going up about $50. And that fee is still really competitive from a planning perspective for other municipalities.
Okay.
I should also note to council, there may be a recommendation to set a specific parks and lieu fee. So when council, or sorry, the committee of adjustment approves some type of severance, they can set a specific fee rather than taking 5% of the total value. So a lot of municipalities have set it at a lower rate to make it more competitive, and it's usually about $400 to $500.
Okay.
So if you put that in your fees bylaw, then it's set for every future one. So
okay. And that's better for investment and building and all that kind of stuff.
Much more attractive.
We don't pass anything at it as a recommendation at the time, right? Like when we have adjustment, when we're having adjustment meeting with the resident, we don't pass anything at that point.
No. For that parks and lieu, that's part of the, when you make the decision or the committee makes the decision of the severance, they can put that as a notice of condition. So once the severance finally goes through, we would collect that fee.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they would know ahead of time that it's just a set fee and not a percentage of.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Oh, no, move by, you'd have to go on the top there. There we go. Thank you. All right, so this is 218-2024, moved by Councillor Cartwright, seconded by Councillor Harper. Be it resolved that council accepts staff report 2409-2403 as presented regarding administrative fee adjustments, and that staff are directed to add these amendments into a revised fees and charges bylaw for council to consider at their October 8th regular meeting. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Okay. So this 7C, I will recuse myself and I will call on acting Deputy Mayor Harper to move forward with this resolution, revised municipal accommodation tax policy. There you go.
Item 7C, revised municipal accommodation tax policy. We have it in our package. Is there any comments or questions? Good. Okay, we need a mover and a seconder.
I had no idea. At first it was on Airbnbs too.
They're having trouble with apparently collecting on the Airbnbs.
Because a lot of them aren't registered as Airbnbs.
I got a call about somebody that had one that's not doing it anymore, but still going to have a long term. So kind of lost one there, but that's a prerogative, right? They can move from a daily to 6-month or full-time rent.
Is there any more discussion? Okay, resolution number 219/2024, moved by Councillor Cartwright, seconded by Councillor Westhaver. Be it resolved that leave be given to introduce a bylaw to establish a policy guiding the township's municipal accommodation tax proceeds. That this bylaw be read a first time and a second time, that the said bylaw be read a third time, finally passed and numbered bylaw number 1945 of the Township of Nippigan. All in favor? Carried. Getting closer anyway. Yeah.
You. All right, so that last was put here. You got it?
219 was that, the next one's 220.
Okay, 220. Okay. Okay, so this is our annual funds received from the Canada Community Building Fund. This is what most people remember as the like
Gas
infrastructure
tax.
fund or the gas tax, right? Okay. So we need a mover and a seconder. Okay. And I noticed that our contribution has gone down, and you said that's because of our population change. Wasn't there a tap dance that they were increasing our funding?
Oh, yeah.
Glenn, when we
100%.
had the delegation with them?
Didn't believe them.
Yeah.
They increased the others.
Yeah. Notice. Our
This is
population.
only like half of it, though, right? Either like.
Problem is typically there's an increase somewhere, but there's a bigger
Is that
decrease
just
somewhere else.
looking at past years, there's always been.
It's based on our population, and then yeah, they move it up and down as depending on the government of the day, I guess.
Okay.
So this is resolution 2020-2024, moved by Councillor Westhaver, seconded by Councillor Cartwright. Be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Nippigan, wait. Okay, so we don't have a resolution for that. This is the Quint one, the town of city of Quint. Is that right?
Yep, it relates, yeah, it's 8, that one's 8C later on, but it actually relates to the gas tax anyway.
Oh, so we're on the right one then. That
Not yes and no.
Okay. Okay, so this is be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Nippigan supports the motion from the City of Quint West to call on the federal government to provide a supplement to the allocations provided to municipalities under the AMO CCBF agreement from 2024-2028 for the same amount that is allocated. So this was your question. We're asking it to be doubled from the federal government to match that fund. Okay. Effectively doubling the allocation for those years. And then a copy of this resolution be forwarded to the MFOA, AMO, the Federal Minister of Finance, Chrystia Freeland, and the City of Quint West. All in favor? Carried. Okay, sorry about that. Confusing. I confused it. Okay, so next up we have, well, we had the Thunder Bay District Social Services Board meeting minutes. That's just for information. Stop me if anyone has anything to say about that one. Sorry, I'm going backwards. Top of Lake Superior Chamber of Commerce. There are minutes here from August 27th, September 3rd, and September 10th. Does anyone have any comments about that? That's just for information. And then 8C, we did sign our resolution there. Pass our resolution for the City of Quint. Economic Development Committee minutes, September 11th. Okay, does anyone have any? I don't think we have a resolution to pass those. Is that because it wasn't a quorum or? Yeah.
And it's receiving. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
There was mention, bring this up afterwards about 11 7/17 day. So
Oh,
just to put somewhere in people's minds.
Nipigon Day is coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't see, I'm not sure who is working on that, if it's Simran or Kristen or like the economic development and or the recreation committee. But Nipigon Day is November 17th. And we were, one of our items in our strategic plan was to grow that. And I know talking to Kristen from last year, she had the idea to grow that, do a few more things there. So maybe for next meeting, we can have a report from staff on what the plan is for Nipigon Day, because that will come up fast. I mean,
Yes.
this year is rocketing by. So yeah, if there's
I wonder
anything,
if
any ideas?
I wonder if the beautification committee is aware of that.
Nope.
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
It seems so eager that there is something to.
They have plans for Christmas too. Yeah. So, all right. Anything else? I just gonna remind myself if I had any comments on this one. So just basically the strategic plan, skate park, dog park. Glenn, do you have anything to say at all about the meeting? Was that when you were at?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's
Any
good meetings.
Yeah.
Lots of people there, so we're bringing up stuff.
I just wanted to mention that we do have a new EDC consultant that's working with us for a few weeks and a couple of months. And so he did attend and he had a lot to share. And I think he has really great experience, especially working with multiple organizations, communities, of different sizes.
Nice.
And like across Canada, so.
Harold Wilson, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel he's going to be a big asset.
How long is he here for, sorry?
Approximately 2 months.
Yeah, so we might get to meet him at a meeting for an update or something.
Yep. Yeah, we can arrange that. He's and to add on Linda's comments, he's already given staff a list of things that we've already started to work on that is in line with our strategic plan. So some of that may come to the next EDC meeting.
Yeah.
But we can set that up for him to come in.
It's very realistic and down to earth and this stuff. And it's like, exactly.
He's a doer.
He's a doer.
Yeah.
So he's been brought on to help give direction to help implement the strategic plan items. Yeah.
Yep. And he's worked with McSweeney in the past, which has been good.
Oh, good. Okay.
Oh, he's not grabbing funding.
Well, that might be part of it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So no other questions about that. So we are, first of all, I'm going to go around and ask if there's any other business. Greg, do you have any other business? Anne-Marie? Gail?
No, we discussed the one I had there.
Okay.
I'm good right now.
Staff, anything else? Linda? Okay. I actually don't think I have.
Actually, maybe I do.
Do you? Yes. Please, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that, yeah, we're happy to have Taylor on board. It's been just a little over 2 weeks now, and she seems to be fitting in well, getting a good grasp on things, get things organized, and because I mean it's a little in disarray because it's been
about 6 or 7 months. Yeah.
Yeah, too long without somebody in that position. So yeah, she really seems to be doing well.
Good. That's awesome.
Did you get a picture of her?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna mention, nobody's mentioning Hike for Health is this week.
Oh, yes. Yes. I will mention that. That is the Hike for Health is happening. It's this weekend on the 25th because it's the last Saturday or the last Sunday in
the Saturday.
The last Saturday.
Wow.
It's Saturdays. It is the 20th. Sorry, I get my dates mixed up. So Hike for Health is this Saturday, and I know they always appreciate people coming out to do that hike. And the weather is absolutely gorgeous. My husband just did the hike a couple days ago, and he said it's in great shape. This trail's in great shape, and the colors will maybe start coming out by Saturday. And yeah, so good opportunity if the weather's going to be good to support that.
This Saturday.
This Saturday, yeah, and it's walking the Nip Rock Trail from Nipigon to Red Rock. Yes.
Oh, I thought it was the other way. I thought they were taking the bus.
Oh, sorry, Red Rock to Nipigon.
And
yeah.
yes.
Between the two.
Walking
yeah.
from Red Rock to
Once you get there, you better walk back.
Yeah, the budget's low this year, you gotta walk back too, no, just
Use your
kidding.
breakfast now.
Just
Mind your own
joking,
business.
now you gotta go back. No, it's a great event and it's a great cause. I know our librarian Sumi is
Yeah.
very much involved with that as a volunteer, so she does a great job too, so. Yes, good luck to them. I hope they get a good turnout and good weather.
Lots of sponsors.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so resolution 221-2024, we're gonna move into closed session. Who's gonna move that second? So we'll get everyone to go out.
Try not to scribble it down.
Okay, so we have a seconder for this one.
Glenn, you want a second?
Glenn?
Yes, ma'am. I'll sound great.
No. The GH and GH. Okay, resolution number 2021-2024, moved by Councillor Westhaver, seconded by Councillor Hart, that this session now resolve into closed session at 8:07 p.m. Under section 239 of the Authority of the Municipal Act 2001 to discuss personal matters about an identifiable individual and the receiving of advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Resolution number 222-2024, moved by Councillor Westhaver, seconded by Councillor Hart, that this meeting resolves into an open session at 8:25 p.m. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 223-2024, moved by Councillor Hart, seconded by Councillor Westhaver, be it resolved that the Chief Administrative Officer is authorized to proceed as director in camera closed session and accepts the in-camera meeting minutes of September 10th, 2024. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. So this is resolution 224-2024. We need a mover and a seconder, please. Sorry, I put my
Okay.
there by mistake. We'll need a mover at the top there.
Mover right beside that.
Right beside my scribble.
Yeah.
I scribbled the wrong part.
Does anybody know what's going on with the mill site?
Just one second. Resolution number 224-2024, moved by Councillor Cartwright, seconded by Councillor Westhaver, that this council adjourns at 8:26 p.m. to meet on October 8th, 2024 for the next regular meeting at the call of the mayor. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. And we're done. Mill site?
Yes.
What's your question about the mill site?
Tell me if it's right.